Please remain standing. And should you be wearing a hat, please remove your hats while Pelham Post 50 American Legion presents the colors of our nation and state. Post, present the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please welcome Madeline Lyons, Matthew Michaeloff, and Ava Purcell to sing our national anthem. Thank you, Maddie, Matthew, and Ava. That was beautiful. Post, retire the colors. You may be seated. Students, teachers, families, loved ones, and friends, it's with great joy that I welcome you to the Pelham Memorial High School Class of 2024 Commencement Ceremony. I would like to begin by giving thanks to Mr. Andrew Van Bokhoff, the PMHS Band, and our national anthem singers, Madeline Lyons, Matthew Michaeloff, and Ava Purcell. Your performances were dynamic. Thank you to the Pelham Public Schools Board of Education, to Dr. Champ, the Department of Facilities, for helping set up this beautiful graduation. And thank you to the PMHS PTA for these lovely flowers. Extraordinary thanks are due to every teacher, administrator, faculty member of Pelham Memorial High School and the Pelham Public Schools. Your dedication to our students has allowed us to reach this day. Parents, families, loved ones, today we celebrate you too. Our class of 2024 would not have reached this moment without your love, support, and guidance. Joining us today are friends and family who are themselves graduates of Pelham Memorial High School. We are so happy you are here. Will all former PMHS senior class members please stand up to be acknowledged? Class of 2024, your intellectual achievements and commitment to service have inspired our entire school community. Your athletic accomplishments have been record-breaking. Your visual artistry and musical performances have lifted our souls. You have truly embodied our Pelham Memorial High School ethos of excellence, inspired by tradition, empowered through community. Seated among the class of 2024 are 4 National Merit Scholarship finalists and 4 National Merit Scholarship commended scholars. One of our students was named a top 300 scholar in the Regeneron Science Talent Search. The nation's oldest and most prestigious science and math competition for high school seniors. 3 of our students represented Pelham Memorial High School and our region at the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair in Los Angeles. Also featured in the class of 2024 are award-winning debaters and actors, an all-state choral member, 2 all-state athletes, an academic All-American, track and field record holders, and a U.S. rowing youth national champion. Several members of the class of 2024 will be competing for their college or university in sports such as baseball, fencing, football, lacrosse, rowing, rugby, soccer, track, and volleyball. In the fall, members of the class of 2024 will attend colleges and universities across the United States. Several will be attending colleges or universities outside of our country, in locations such as St. Andrews, Scotland, Sorengo, Switzerland, and Paris, France. This year, 64 of our students demonstrated their commitment to civic knowledge, skills, mindset, and experiences. They are the first Pelham Memorial High School students to pursue and earn the New York State Seal of Civic Readiness. Will these 64 civic-minded students please stand up to be acknowledged? Thank you for your commitment. There's a well-known leadership story. Perhaps you've heard it before. 3 workers are employed cutting blocks of stone. when asked what they're doing. The first one says, cutting stone. The second replies, earning a living. The third says, I'm building a cathedral. This third stone cutter has a vision, connects his daily work to a higher purpose. He's working to create a future that will inspire hearts and minds well after he's gone. It will inspire hearts and minds for generations. I've often thought of this story in the context of our own stone masterpiece, Pelham Memorial High School. Constructed as a living memorial to those who died in service during World War I, each of us who enters its halls are called upon to pursue the highest ideals of scholarship and service. Last spring, in the spring of 2023, I received an email from a Pelham Memorial High School graduate. Dear Mr. Berkowitz, I graduated from Pelham Memorial High School in 1959 and have wonderful memories of my time there. I was a miler on the track and field team and a captain of the cross-country team. I was also in the Knight and Lamp Honor Society. PMHS prepared me very well for the future. After graduation, he writes, I went to Cornell, where I studied chemical engineering. I spent my career with several companies in the chemical industry, eventually becoming an executive, a senior executive. Since retiring, I've served on company boards of directors and am currently on the boards of the Atlanta chapter of the National Association of Corporate Directors. He continues, I have a great degree of gratitude for the way PMHS helped to prepare me for the future. I plan to be in Pelham on Friday, May 12th, and it would mean a lot to me to visit PMHS. And if you're in the office, I would love to stop by and say hello. Like that third stone cutter, this PMHS graduate had worked for a higher purpose. Now in his early 80s, he was returning to Pelham to see the high school and community that had prepared him so well for the years beyond. I wanted to make his return feel special. I wanted to show him that we care about our students while they are here and well after they graduate. Prior to his arrival, I asked some members of the Pelican yearbook staff to locate the 1959 yearbook, which is in the principal's office. When he arrived, I greeted him with his yearbook, where a post-it had been placed on his senior class portrait. As we walked the halls of the high school, we located a plaque bearing his name. It was on the honor roll just outside of the auditorium. In addition, we found 2 separate photographs in our hallways where he was featured. They had been mounted to our walls as part of the 2021 Centennial Celebration poster series. Not every school has such a rich through line connecting past and present, but Pelham Memorial High School does. And graduates of the class of 2024, as you head out into the world of college and career, I encourage you to build upon the stone foundation of your Pelham and Pelham Memorial High School experiences by pursuing a higher purpose, just as that third stone cutter and this class of 1959 alumnus have done. There will be times in life where you just have to pay the bills. That is a reality of adulthood. But if you're lucky enough to pursue a career that gives you purpose, and you take the time to develop relationships that are filled with love, and you make a commitment to engage in civic life on behalf of others, these stone blocks will enable you to construct a life of meaning. Your efforts will provide you with joy in the days ahead and stability and support through the inevitable challenges. And when you return to Pelham Memorial High School next year or many decades into the future, I hope that you too receive a warm welcome back. And should you request it, a tour of the building as well. Class of 2024, on behalf of your teachers, faculty, and the administration of Pelham Memorial High School, we are incredibly proud of you. We wish you continued success in the years ahead. Congratulations. I would now like to introduce Isaiah Graves, who will be reading his speech, Be the Captain of Your Team.
Parents, faculty, administrators, and fellow members of the class of 2024, welcome. Some of you may know me as a 4-sport athlete. I participated in track and field, basketball, football, and half a season of lacrosse, so maybe that makes me a 3.5 sport athlete. Sports has always been an important part of my life, but as I stand here today, not in uniform, but in a cap and gown, I realize everything that sports has taught me over the last 4 years I've attended Pelham Memorial High School. As a runner on the track team, I learned more than just how to run around in a circle. Although at times in our lives it will definitely feel as though we are just running around in circles, I learned to run toward a goal, to stay focused on the finish line, and that it's more important to focus on what you're running towards rather than what you're running away from. Jimmy Dean once said, "I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination." On the basketball court, I learned how important it is to always take your best shot. Even if you miss, you always have the rebound. During summer league, Coach Cortine would always tell me to aim high when shooting my free throws. Little did I know that would mean more than just a foul shot, more than just us making it to playoffs, and especially more than us making it to County Center. And that's a good thing because we didn't. In football, we learn not to let life's problems tackle you, though it may feel like it at times, especially when a 200-pound linebacker is sitting on your chest. Get up. The goal line is closer than you think. And don't get set back and lose hope just because you failed in one game. The season isn't over yet. And then there's lacrosse. What did I learn from lacrosse? I'm just kidding. The thing I learned from playing lacrosse for half a season is the importance of ripping the duck. Now, I have no idea what that meant, and to be honest, I thought that would be cool to say in a high school speech. But I repeat, don't actually rip a duck. Ripping a duck describes what you're about to do or what you want someone to do. What I did or wanted to do was take a chance in a sport that I didn't know. So, to my fellow graduates, take a risk, even if it's not a perfect fit. You end up gaining more than you lose. It's not just about the game. It's not just about the game, but more about what type of character the game produces within yourself. It's the stamina that has to be built, and the connections that come with it. It's the wanting to do more, the desire to be more. It's the faith and determination to win, not only in a time sport, but in a lifetime. Now, no athlete succeeds without a coach. My first coach and my best coach was my mom. So, Mom, if I had a big container... If I had a big container of Gatorade right now, I'd pour it all over your head. Metaphorically, of course, I wouldn't want to ruin your hair or your dress. But I'd like to save a little bit of Gatorade for the following. Mr. Kopstein, Mr. Beck and Mrs. Holmes, Mr. Schleifer, Miss Gruber, Miss Clapp, Callum Reen, Salazzo, Lou Green, Danny Green, Artie Vigiano Jr. and Sr., Coach Cortine, and many more. These are people who taught me to take risks and be my best self. I hope to all my fellow graduates, they'll take a moment today to find the coach in their life, the person who brought them to this very moment, and thank them. I'm honored to have learned from these coaches and captains who eventually allowed me to be team captain myself. I hope that what I learned from them, I was able to pass on the torch to someone else so the cycle can be repeated. As Deion Sanders once said, to be a good captain, you must take the ultimate responsibility. And sometimes that means making tough decisions. Don't take those moments lightly, but don't run from them either. Now, don't get me wrong. We don't all have to be captains. A lot of us can be role players. Many of us can be team managers. Most of us can be practice players. And some of us learn to be better players or better people by watching from the bench, also known as bench warmers. Whatever your place is, know you will always be successful if you do your absolute best. The class of 2024 is full of many people that fit these descriptions and have displayed preparation, confidence, honor, loyalty, communication skills, and lastly, willingness to learn from others. We have all had many coaches in our lives who have told us there is no I in team, but there is an I in Pelicans. Today, we are all Pelicans. Today, we play on the same team for one last time. Today, Pelicans, we fly. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaiah. I would now like to introduce Isaac Lief, who will be reading his speech, Hustle, but Not Too Fast.
Cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves, said Oscar-winning filmmaker Alejandro González Iñárritu. He's absolutely right. Consider your favorite movies. For me, they're inspirational ones, like Good Will Hunting, that depict hustling towards a success that once seemed unimaginable. Now think about why you enjoy the movies you love. Presumably, there's something in the plot or characterization that you find appealing, something that you would like for your own life. Like the character Tom Wingfield from The Glass Menagerie, who goes to the movie theater night after night to immerse himself in stories of action and adventure. Movies serve as an escape from reality, a reminder that the world out there is so much bigger and more fascinating than we think. But the fundamental problem of this manner of thinking is that this escape is only temporary, because after a brief 2-hour getaway, we must always return to our ordinary lives. Thus, there are two solutions. Either watch more movies, or the trickier option, live your life like the main character of your favorite movie. Easy enough, right? In reality, it's simpler than you might think. Do what the characters in your favorite films do. Just hustle, but not too fast. First, the hustle. As with movies and life, we must realize that both are short. By establishing a sense of urgency, hustling becomes the easy part. The first step is to define your goal and then relentlessly pursue it. Every main character has one, whether it be defeating an antagonist, winning over a girl, or the most elusive, achieving one's full potential. The famous American filmmakers, the Farrelly brothers, who directed Dumb and Dumber, aptly captured the sentiment in a philosophy anything but dumb. Life is like going the wrong way on a moving walkway. Stand still, and you go backward. Walk, and you stay put. To get ahead, you have to hustle. In order to embody this notion over my time in high school, I kept an inspirational quote on my lock screen for 2 years, saying, hustle, verb, the only controllable pillar of success. So that was my goal. I hustled by trying to spend every second productively, even using my hour-and-a-half commutes to Manhattan every weekday for fencing practice, to do everything from homework to SAT sections to memorizing the introductions to my debate competitions that weekend. Over the past 4 years, each and every person in this class has hustled towards a goal in their own right. Practicing a sport, memorizing lines of the play, polishing a research presentation, rehearsing an instrument, working a job, studying for a test, or just making it through a week. No one has achieved anything great without hustling, and the class of 2024's endless list of accolades speaks volumes to this notion. However, despite the importance of the hustle, it's equally important to not get lost in the work, to nonetheless enjoy and appreciate the process. Fundamentally, you can't base your happiness off the result. And that's because our expectations of happiness and disappointment are always more extreme than the actual outcome. We've all felt like if we got this one thing, won a game, performed well at a competition, aced a test, gone to this one school, that we'd be happy. But in reality, the short-term satisfaction derived from these moments of achieving a goal went away like that. On the bright side, the expected disappointment of failure is also far worse than the reality. Case in point, losing the Olympics. Too soon? Anyway, so what's the solution? Never try hard at anything, because regardless of the result, it is ultimately insignificant. Absolutely not. Instead, you have to enjoy the process, the day-to-day struggle of working towards something about which you are passionate, regardless of the future result. Ironically, in one of my favorite movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ferris said just the opposite of the hustle mentality. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop, look around once in a while, you can miss it. So is it still possible to both hustle and enjoy the moment? Well, in practice, hustling has nothing to do with speed and everything to do with drive. Whether you achieved your goals in the last 4 years or will achieve them in years to come blatantly doesn't matter. What's important is that each and every one of you is hustling towards a goal and engaging in meaningful work. And that's because hustling is about the input, the vision, the work, the perseverance, not the output, the end result. Looking back at our years in high school, we spent so much time waiting for it to be over, that we overlook the small things along the way. The nervous excitement of the first day of school, politely laughing at a teacher's not-so-funny joke, or simply walking to class with friends. While high school may be over, this is just the beginning. At the end of the day, you want to look back on your life and have minimal regrets, whether that's taking advantage of opportunities, spending time with loved ones, or just trying something new. Choose the path of least regret. Now that our high school movie has come to an end, it's time to think about how you want the next chapter of your saga to look like. As with all great things in life, there's a dichotomy. To achieve happiness, you need to strike a balance between hustling towards a goal and enjoying the process. But at the end of the day, the solution is simple. Hustle, but not too fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. I would now like to introduce Andrew Scott, who will be reading his speech, The Cringe. Welcome, Andrew.
There is a word that gets passed around quite often in the modern age. Cringe. Despicable, isn't it? Cringe. The word itself gives you that face that you wear every time you remember that moment when you were younger and you did something really stupid and looked like a complete idiot. That was cringe. Although I personally think that cringe gets a bad rep. Maybe cringe is good. Let me give you an example. I'm giving you this speech now under our graduation tent on June 22nd, about 10 in the morning. A speech that has been edited, peer-reviewed, as flawless and refined as I could possibly make it. It sounds, well, it should sound perfect. However, instead of looking at me orating at you all now, I want you to think back to the person writing this speech in room 237 on May 3rd, 10:39 in the morning, just after waking up from only 6 hours of sleep to put on the first clothes he found, to drive down the Hutch and to park on Pelham, to sprint past the intersection to play violin at 7:35 a.m., 3 minutes late, then to go from class to class to attempt to process insane calculus theorems and over-the-top quantum physics, and now that kid, tired out of his mind with disheveled hair, mismatched clothes, and baggy eyes, sits at a desk in a classroom filled with students that he thinks are wonderful, kind, talented, and certainly incredibly creative. He now has to write an entire speech on why they are so amazing. Needless to say, it's a bit hard for him. In fact, part of him is scared he may come off as cringe. So what does he do? He thinks back, all the way back to elementary school, when he knew way, way too little and was way, way too cringe. And what his brain decided to remember is the really, and I mean really, terrible original story he had written in 5th grade that he had shared with his friends. In looking back, he figures how the writing was literally abysmal. There was probably no grammar, half the word choices made no sense, it carried no emotion to the audience, it did not leave the readers guessing, and the plot did not have holes because it did not exist. It was the essence of cringe. But even though his writing was just a tad bit less than optimal, the people around him were so supportive. That kid can tell you right now that they were not supportive because it was a work of art, because it was not. They were saying it because they wanted creativity to thrive. And now this kid took writing seminar, creative writing. He wants to write stories, plays, musicals, so much, and he shares all of his writing. Even the shoddy, the work in progress, definitely needs to be entirely changed drafts with his school that he writes in now. This kid writing this speech then remembers middle school jazz band. Anyone who remembers middle school jazz band remembers how bad they were in middle school jazz band. For those who haven't been to the school's band concerts, players in the jazz band improvise, make up their own solos for some of the pieces on the spot without music. Mr. VB, the band teacher, had to get someone else to come into the school because the kids were that bad at improvising. When that man came, he would set up a microphone near the drums and pianos in the corner of the band room, and the kids left their usual row-by-row formation to crowd around this microphone and wait for whoever was brave enough or foolish enough to get up and try and play something from the soul. The drums start up, the piano joins along, and everyone sits there and waits for someone else to get up. No one wants to be the first. To this day, that kid is still so thankful to whomever was the brave instrumentalist that got up and played first. No, it wasn't good. But it was real. It was from that kid's heart. Everyone in that room watched intently as he cracked or squeaked or somehow dropped his instrument on the ground or whatever awful things happened, and we all applauded him. Suddenly another kid got up and tried their hardest too, and it was probably even worse. But we applauded them too. The kid who was writing this speech even remembers himself getting up and panicking so bad that he just ran away in the middle of a phrase. It was not good. But there was music not just played, but being made in that band room. Everyone embraced the improv. After that day, improv felt fun. The fear of getting up and playing for everyone was lifted like a curse. And now, if you were to go to a band concert, nearly every kid in that jazz band gets up and plays their heart out. Saxophones, trombones, flutes, and trumpets all strut up to that mic. The middle school gym in this school, echoey as it is full of the most soul-filled music. Those kids are so much braver now than in that little timid middle school jazz band. That kid thinks back to so many different memories. All of the watercolor, Sharpie at-home projects he's seen from extremely proud artists, all of the over-the-top celebrations over what, at the time, felt like incredible athletic feats, all of the Friday Night Lives, the Pelham Children's Theater, all of the clothes, the songs and the dances, the clubs and the fairs, all the moments that the people in his grade look back and think, oh my gosh, that is so cringe, please do not talk about that. It is all cringe, but look at where we all are now. Graduating high school with flying colors, each person as creative as the next. As we all start to head off into new places in the world, we are bound to run into new communities. Communities that do not know who we are, where we came from, and all the cringe things we did way back when we were younger. Some people take that as a challenge to keep a perfect reputation of never being embarrassing, never making a single mistake, never being cringe. That boy writing that essay in that room has felt cringe before. He knows how bad it feels, but he concludes his first draft of that essay, and soon he will show it to his teacher, and later, under a tent, and even after, as you leave this high school behind, he will implore you to be cringe. As much as that fear of being cringe comes at you in full force, embrace it. Live in it, never forget the cringe. Even if you quit jazz band after 8th grade, never forget the cringe. Even if you missed the easiest goal of your life in freshman year, never forget the cringe. Even if, as a random example, you have never taken an art class and decided to start drawing for your physics teacher on all of your exams, and you know that in the very, very near future, you will immediately feel very cringe about what you have done, never forget the cringe. It has made you who you are. Congratulations to the class of 2024.
Thank you, Andrew. I would now like to introduce Class of 2024 President Sienna Jeppi, who will be reading her speech unboxed.
We arrived at the school in boxes. Now, normally you'd think that this is just some type of metaphor, but our unique freshman experience meant that we quite literally started high school in tiny virtual boxes sprawled across the screen, separated from each other and from the world. Our very first day of high school was not spent making pit stops at Dunkin' Donuts or even exploring the halls of the high school. Our boxes of pencils remained sealed as we slept through our Google Meets, enclosed within the four walls of our own homes. I think very few of us would ever want to return to this period of isolation, as time spent confining ourselves within a box is simply not enjoyable. But if there's one thing that I've learned over my past 4 years here, it's that boxes cannot contain us forever. Many of you might reflect on your high school experience, and many people say high school was the best years of their life. However, if we live to be 70 years old, high school will be less than 5% of our lifetime. The reason people put so much emphasis on their time in high school is because it's the most significant period of expanding our interests and expanding our friendships. Yet once you graduate, people will confine themselves to a singular occupation, a small group of companions, because that's what's most comfortable. You'll seal up your passions, your dreams, and the enthusiasm I've seen at every single sports game, theater production, and the well-known Olympics, storing these boxes in the attics of our mind. But these boxes are meant to be opened. So as much as I've loved my time here, I don't want the past 4 years to be the best that it gets. Instead of packing up and settling down, let's start with what we've gathered here in Pelham and continue adding more interest and more friendships to our boxes to let them overflow. Today I stand in front of an amazing class of multifaceted interests. State championship athletes who are also Olympic artists, AP scholars who are also NISMA musicians, and those friends of ours who are somehow always busy, but effortlessly juggle everything in between. As we move forward, our life will get busier. There'll be jobs, there's responsibilities, and there are countless distractions that will persuade all of us from dropping some of the things we love. But don't let the busyness of your life stop you from holding on to the passions we found here. Remember your 5-year-old self. Who did they want to be when they grew up? They weren't concerned about popularity or salary or anything about what others would think. They just wanted to do something that would make them happy. So take a page from that 5-year-old. Play an intramural sport that reminds you of your time on Glover Field. Join that club that reminds you of your sophomore year chemistry lab group. Or take a class on something, anything that you just find interesting. Don't limit yourself to one thing, because the world needs more outside of the box thinkers. Don't seal yourself off to activities that only align with a career aspiration. Open new boxes, try new things, because we're going to be the ones who change the world, but not if we forget about what we loved in the world in the first place. So keep that curiosity alive and let your passions overflow and spill out of any container they might be placed in. But more important than the activities that you pursue are the relationships that stem from them. Now, although we've shed a tear or a couple over those we might leave behind, just because we're moving away doesn't mean we're really leaving. It's just really hot, my eyes are sweating. While we're packing our boxes, make sure to bring with you your fondest memories, because some of us found our best friends here. The people who made us laugh and supported us through the tough times. They made us who we are today. And I urge you to keep those friends and share the happiness they brought with you to others. So when you're in your dorm room next year, keep the door open. Tell your new roommates all those stories about the icy roads to Buffalo, your interesting experiences during the senior scavenger hunt, or when More Than My Hometown starts playing at your first college party, think about our silly walk dance. And if your graduating class ever experiences an Olympic-like loss of your own, plan a bonding barbecue, cut your classes, and grill your problems away. But I didn't say to do that. Friendships, like interest, shouldn't be boxed in by the end of high school. And while it is easy to stick with the familiar, life's richer when we continue to meet new people and form new connections, but still hold on to the old. So please don't be afraid to say hi to someone new, but please reach out to an old friend. Wave when you see me across the street and maintain the bonds you found here. Because our paths might diverge, but our friendships won't fade. On my parents' wedding day, my mom told my dad, "Today is the day that I love you the least." Now, while that might sound bad, trust me, it's not. Because obviously that was a very happy day, but it was the day she loved him the least because their love would only grow every day after. So class of 2024, as strange as it sounds, I hope today is the worst day of the rest of your life. I hope that you are the least happy, really hot, the least sure, and you feel the least loved as you're surrounded by every one of your classmates and every one of your family members. Because I hope your interests and connections only grow from here. So don't keep your heart in a box. Let it overflow. Pull a Mr. Berkowitz and say, "Hi, friends," whenever you see anyone from here. Because before our shipping label said doctor, before it said activist, before it said superstar, it said Pelham Memorial High School. And here is where we learn to unbox ourselves. Congratulations to the PMHS class of 2024.
Thank you, Sienna. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Crystal Howell, President of the Pelham Council of the PTAs, who will be presenting the W.W. Fairclough Scholarship.
Good morning, everybody. The Fairclough Scholarship was established in memory of W.W. Fairclough, principal of Pelham Memorial High School from 1923 through 1945, and superintendent from 1945 to 1955. Each year, it is given by the Pelham Council of the PTAs to the top 3 academic achievers in the graduating class. This year, it is our pleasure to present the award. All right. For third place, we have Avery Goodman. For second place, we have the hustler in person, Isaac Lief. And for first place, we have Samantha Gregory. Congratulations to the award recipients and to the entire class, family, and friends of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Howell. I would now like to introduce Dr. Cheryl H. Champ, Superintendent of Schools, for her remarks, followed by the presentation of the Memorial Tablet Awards.
Good morning. Thank you, Principal Berkowitz. And can we please give one more round of applause to our student speakers? They were phenomenal as usual. I am always humbled and intimidated, honestly, to follow our students each year. They are our district vision personified and truly amazing. Good morning, friends, family, faculty, staff, members of the Board of Education, and most importantly, the distinguished Pelham Memorial High School class of 2024. I am honored to be here today to congratulate you and to share a few brief comments on this momentous day for this most esteemed group of graduates. The Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens begins, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." Published in 1859, that timeless opening sentence still rings true and is strikingly reminiscent when I think of your high school story. As much as I hesitate to dwell on the dark days of the pandemic, the reality is that this phenomenon was part of your educational and personal journey. To disregard it is to cast away something significant that undoubtedly will be part of your story for years to come. When you entered high school, and we heard this from Sienna earlier, masks were mandatory. You toted trifold plastic barriers back and forth according to schedule. My cohort A friends, please raise your hand. All right, and cohort B. Yes, things that we remember 4 years later. The illness, the quarantines, the logistical challenges and changes, remote and hybrid school, all of this weighed heavily on each of you as you roamed the halls, 6 feet apart, 2 and 2.5 days each year, or each day of the week. It was, let's be honest, it was probably one of the worst of times. Right? But there were some perks. You were, of course, the only freshman class to get open campus privileges. You got to look for the silver linings whenever you can. In all seriousness, despite these immense challenges, you showed an amazing and frankly inspiring ability to adapt. As we moved from hybrid back to regular schedule with distancing and masks, to finally getting back to a normal education, you persevered. You worked hard to create bonds of belonging and connection with your teachers and peers, first through screens and literally layers of separation in your early years of high school, to relearn how to interact with one another in person. And you accomplished that too with some of the highest participation rates and best quality work ever in our performing ensembles, arts classes, athletics teams, clubs, and service organizations. You literally built and rebuilt the connections and sense of belonging that are the heartbeat of Pelham Memorial High School. Academically, if I'm being honest, you were the class that we most worried about, given all that you had gone through. But again, in the face of that adversity, you demonstrated one of the greatest comebacks anyone could imagine. In doing so, you set new records of accomplishment for our school in the academics and extracurricular and co-curricular realms. Even if we did have to do a little extra work cutting back on some of the COVID area collaborating that became a bit of a way of life that we could get away with a little bit easier in the virtual world. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Resilience, adaptability, and drive, learning, and growth. These are the hallmarks of Pelham Memorial High School's student class of 2024. You zigged and zagged and bobbed and weaved and found a way against all the odds. You truly exemplify those ideals, and I am so proud of you. It's probably no secret that I'm a huge theater fan. And earlier this year, I saw the Broadway revival of Merrily We Roll Along, which, while terrific in its own right, came nowhere to eclipsing the talent of Sock and Buskins, To the Woods, or Peter and the Starcatcher, if we're being honest, right? Yes, we agree. Merrily We Roll Along chronicles the tumultuous relationship between composer Franklin Shepard and his 2 lifelong friends, writer Mary and lyricist and playwright Charlie. While the story sadly shows how success eventually corrupted their relationship over time, the lyrics of this song from their earlier days paint a picture of belief and optimism. I share this with you as an offering with the hope that Pelham Memorial High School has prepared you for a successful life ahead. That song is Our Time by Stephen Sondheim. Something is stirring, shifting ground. It's just begun. Edges are blurring all around, and yesterday is done. Feel the flow, hear what's happening. We're what's happening. Don't you know, we're the movers and we're the shapers. We're the names in tomorrow's papers. Up to us, man, to show them. It's our time, breathe it in. Worlds to change and worlds to win. Our turn coming through. Me and you, man, me and you. Years from now, we'll remember and we'll come back by the rooftop and hang a plaque. This is where we began, being what we can. It's our heads on the block. Give us room and start the clock. Our dream coming true. Me and you, pal, me and you. I hope these words speak to you, students, of the friendships that you've made and the opportunity that you all have to launch from here and make a real mark on the world. What you've been through, the scars you wear, are things that have made you stronger. Stronger as friends, stronger as people, stronger as students. You are the embodiment of the ideals that we cherish as a learning community, and I know that you are ready for this next verse that lies ahead. Class of 2024, your story is one of ingenuity, creativity, dedication, flexibility, commitment to school spirit, tradition, resilience, adaptability, drive, involvement, connection, and service. You leave behind a legacy of learning, growth, wellness, balance, community, and belonging for the next generations of Pelham. This is your story, and this is a story of inspiration for the next generations of students who walk the halls of Pelham Memorial High School. As we prepare to celebrate your graduation, know that after all you've been through, this is your time. The best of times have arrived, and the traits you possess mean even greater to the things that lie ahead. Congratulations and best wishes for much success in your future. This is your time. I now have the distinct honor of presenting the Memorial Tablet Award. This award was established in 1925 and is the most prestigious honor given to 2 students in the senior class. It is voted on by the Pelham Memorial High School faculty. These 2 students are recognized as having attained the highest mental, moral, physical, and academic achievements during their high school years. Our first tablet. This student radiates genuine warmth and care for all those around her. She is described as kind-hearted, intelligent, open-minded, good-natured, and well-balanced. Academically, she has excelled in the most demanding AP and honor courses offered. Her phenomenal work ethic, dedication, and perseverance never waver. While she's had great success in STEM courses, it is her love of reading and inquisitive zest for learning that propels her toward the humanities. She's a true leader in every sense of the word. Patient, willing to listen to others, proactive, and passionate and motivated. She's the first to volunteer for any fundraiser. After holding the role of Student Association Secretary for 2 years, she was chosen by her peers to lead as Vice President of her class. She has been peer mentor to incoming freshmen over the past 3 years and holds many leadership roles within student activities such as the Women's Empowerment Club. Outside of school, she has been a leader on the varsity soccer team, as well as spring and winter track teams. Her favorite quote sheds light on her commitment to literature, leadership, community, and service. As Toni Morrison once wrote, "If you find a book that you really want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it." It is my honor to announce Laura Shelton as the recipient of the Memorial Tablet. And our second Memorial Tablet. Over the past 4 years, this student has emerged as a one-of-a-kind. Always compassionate toward others, he is a leader within the classroom, student clubs, athletic teams, and the Student Association. Committed to excellence in every endeavor, he has earned membership into the National Honor Society, Science Honor Society, Mathematics Honor Society, English Honor Society, and Social Studies Honor Society. His peers elected him as president of the Student Association. In addition, he is a proud leader of the PMHS Gaelic League. His love of Pelham and Pelham Memorial High School runs deep. As our school mascot for 4 years, if you have ever wondered who's beneath that pelican costume at home football games and other special events, it is this dedicated student. As a musician, his joy within the percussion section is infectious. During this year's winter concert, he made his own instrument out of lumber to enhance the band's performance of Sleigh Ride. As one teacher states, this student is extraordinarily loyal, incredibly sincere, beyond humble, and always willing to help faculty and peers alike. He radiates his love of community and Pelham Memorial High School. It is my honor to present Eric Fontanella as the recipient of the Memorial Tablet. It's also his birthday. So happy birthday, Eric.
Congratulations to our students, and thank you, Dr. Champ. I would now like to invite Class of 2024 faculty advisors, Mrs. Ariadne Lividitis and Mr. Greg Kopstein, who will be reading the names of our students aloud during our presentation of diplomas. A moment of housekeeping. Please keep the aisles clear as our students are going to be moving to receive their diplomas and returning to their seats. in honor of the fact that we have over 230 diplomas to distribute, we practice the Pelham one clap rule. The child's name is read, and we clap once. That was not good. The child's name is read, and we clap once. And after that, we can give a round of applause once all of the diplomas have been received. In addition, just so you're aware, at one point we will pause as a student's diploma is presented by his grandfather, a former Pelham Public Schools Board of Education president. I now welcome Ms. Ariadne Livaditis and Mr. Greg Kopstein.
Sienna Jeppi, Laura Shelton, Samantha Gregware, John Boyce IV, Gabrielle Ato, Adam Alfalahi, Kayla Artis, Gavin Almer, Orion Ball, Irene Basu, Alexander Beldeman, Aaron Benitez Guzman, James Blackburn, Brianna Blake, Claudia Brown, Kiana Burris Ross, Pierre Kayat, Lucas Calderon, Alejandro Kaltenko, Vincent Casanuzzi, Chloe Castro, Kyle Chang, Marco Chaka, Spencer Conrad, Lane Cooper, Sophia Kasha, Adriana Craig, William Crotty, Gabriel DeCruz, Jewel Daly, Arjun Deocharan, Amelia Desmarais, Alexander DeSapio, Lucetta Dolan, John Dolan, Michael Dominici, Amy Doherty, Lottie Drinkwine, Jasmine Duffus, Gavin Duffy, Antoine Eberhardt, Santino Esposito, Russell Eustace, Griffin Evans, Jane Falvey, Brianna Feely, William Feldner, Katie Finnegan, Sebastian Fisher, Nicholas Flores, Eric Fontanella, Gianluca Francis, Wilson Fredbeck, Nevaeh Gabriel, Ava Gotti, Savannah Gilio, Leah Gilman, Liam Migliano, Grant Givens, Clea Jaloshi, Katarina Gomez de Silva, Clara Good, Avery Goodman, Benjamin Gorski, Georgia Gramsci, Isaiah Graves, Delasia Griffith, Catherine Christina, Vivian Guo, Annika Halverson, Elle Halverson, Sarah Harris, Zachary Hazley Allende, Layla Herrera, Mark Holiva, Nathaniel Hopper, Donald Histomsky, Caitlin Howell, Christian Howell, Tatiana Arani, Sid Ivanov, Brian Izazaga, Daniel James, Rachel Janis, Nathila J. Kumar, Brianna Johnson, William Johnson, Henry Kagan, Evan Kaplansky, Zaid Karami, Evan Kaufman, Jacob Kaufman, Anthony Keating. Willie Kenny. Cooper Kerr. Julia Kindig. Katarzyna Kermser. Benjamin Koff. Catherine Kuznetsov. Ryan Lasilla. Andrews Lal. Emma Lasky. Jeremy Leek. Ivan Lee. Joseph Letizia. Sebastian Levy. Isaac Lief. Quinn Lover. Biela Luangisa. Brooke Luce. Madeline Lyons. Valerie Madrid. Edward Marr. Asa Malik. And Prashan Mawana.
Ready? Nick. Yes. Nicholas Bassarelli. Nicholas Maurer. Sean McCormick. Mia McDermott. Chloe McGibbon. Ryan McGovern. Megan McInerney. Grace McNamara. Liam Mead. Olivia Medrano. Helena Mejias. Paige Masidi. Christopher Meyer. Matthew Michaeloff. Jake Milo. Vishal Mitra. Katia Mitrione. Michael Morello. Silvio Marovich. Andrew Mullen. Brian Munoz. Kenneth Nelson. Brian Nespol. Matthew Nespol. Rebecca Nicholas. Chinmary Joku. Connor Normoyle. Catherine Nyborg. Jada O'Kane. Lise Obudulu. Josephine Olivier. Anthony Orlando. Mia Orlando. Pamela Ortega. Milan Otandi. Adela Panariti. Rory Panuti. Celia Parent. Padraig Perlman. Marcelo Pegararo. Joseph Pelosi. His diploma will be awarded by his grandfather, former Board of Education President, Mr. Joseph Salamini, Sr. Jacqueline Panetta. Genevieve Pereira. Jessica Perez. Alana Cristina Pesante. Lola Pierce. Elio Pietronico. Massimo Pietronico. Charles Pila. Gianna Pitutiello. Jared Plummer. Olivia Polsky. Catherine Powers. Alyssa Prella. Nolan Prophet. Maximilian Persea. Ava Purcell. Sarush Rossi. Sophia Redcross. Raphael Rice. Luke Rai Shi. Aiden Reynolds. April Rickenor. Colin Rice. LeBron Richardson. Francesca Ripple. Vincent Robinson. Ines Rowland. Catherine Ross. Adita Roy. Ava Rutigliano. Vincent Salerno. Martina Saljanin. Julian Santana Hernandez. Lindsay Santos. Jackson Scarlett. Ryan Schiller. Gian Schloyer. Madison Schneider. Andrew Scott, Zinedine Sahili Moran, Ryan Shkoza, Madeline Simon, Shreyas Singh, Madeline Smith, Sheree Smith, Andrew Snar, Ava Sobolak, Leanne Spencer, Jordan Stanford, Hannah Steinberg, William Stinger, Charles Streeter, Jack Talamis, Noah Timmermans, Robert Tomick, Isabella Turner, Madeline Turner, Sean Turner, Lauren Alto, David Valencia, Joseph Vasilati, Avon Walker, Aiden Walkin, Quinn Walsh, Jocelyn Warwick, Bennett Weiss, Meredith Woods, Sydney Wright, Charlie Zabata, Stacy Zarvelis, Adriana Zinzi.
All right. The class of 2024, by the authority granted me by the State of New York Board of Regents and by the Pelham Board of Education and through the Pelham Union Free School District, I hereby officially proclaim the preceding members of the class of 2024 to now be graduated. I'm so glad that you're standing. Before we begin our recessional, you can stay standing, that's great. Before we begin our recessional, our class of 2024 is going to join me in song. The lyrics are on the back page of your program. You can join us even if you don't know the tune, you'll figure it out. Some of you might know this. We had a wonderful discovery in the 2021 Centennial Celebration of a song called The Pelican Parade. It was crafted by Jordan C. Smith, he of the class of 1929. It's an alma mater. And the lyrics, again, printed on the back of your program, are here. After we sing, we will begin the recessional. Those on the dais will come down, and then our graduates will exit. So please stay in your seats until every member of the class of 2024 has exited the tent. But before that, and this is a good one, graduates, let's stand, and then on the count of 3, we're going to do it. You want to come up front? You want to come up front? No pressure. You want to stay where you are? All right. You ready? Someone want to stay with me? Okay, we're going to do it. All right. I got this. What's that? You want their tab? It's okay. All right, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. 3 cheers for alma mater. 3 cheers from Pelham High. You'll live in our hearts forever. Memories that will never die. For pals who have been so loyal, we grieve as we say goodbye. Best of luck as we part, hand to hand, heart to heart. Give 3 cheers for good old Pelham High. Mr. Van Bakoff, please strike the band.